I put in here, I tried to break down the various costs, and we can go into those in more detail if people want to. The development costs are some of the initial bidding information and stuff you have to put together for that. Engineering costs are in the order of $164,000. The biomass plant, that's mainly the mechanical, the boiler itself, and all the related components. That's $475,000. Energy transfer stations, what that is, you'll have your centralized boiler plant, you'll have district heating piping going to each school. That district heating piping attaches to what they call an energy transfer station, essentially replaces your boiler. And then that's what is the interface between the district heating system and your distribution system within the building. So the cost for that's about $119,000. The district heating network itself is one of the largest costs, $424,000. That includes preparing all the beds, all the trenching, all the pipe itself, covering it back up. That's a pretty big project. So, heating system miscellaneous, that was $20,000. The boiler plant building, we'd have a separate building. I put in $250,000. On the bottom, you'd have your fuel bin, so that would all be gravity feed. Your trucks would back up, dump its load right into the fuel bin. All your boiler equipment would also be in that lower level. And then on the upper level, you could probably get away with a full upper level, but I kept a full upper level. Part of it is just the space above the fuel bin. The other part I made into offices, so that could be handy space for you guys if you want it. Spare parts, $23,000. I have contingencies in this plan, and that's something to really consider. It came out with a pretty attractive financial return, and that includes a 20% contingency. So we have 304 in the biomass one. We have 304,000 just in contingency. Okay. If you look at the solar one, that is a contingency of 369,000. So you have a lot of wiggle room in there. So your total initial costs are $1.8 million just for the biomass. Your annual cost in biomass, and that is assuming about $55 a ton for wood chips, would be $89,000. Your fuel oil cost, I assumed, I think, $2.50 per barrel, which is close to where we are now, is $21,000. And O&M costs, $3,900. So your total annual cost would be $115,000. So in terms of returns, that gives you a payback of 7.6 years and a net present value of $2.4 million. Now if you go down to the very bottom, you got your emissions, which is the other, it's not only a cost savings based on moving from fuel oil to biomass, but you also have your carbon savings. So we went from a carbon footprint of 1,468 tons of CO2 to the new one, which is 124. So you had a total reduction in tons of CO2 of 1,344, and that's on an annual basis. So that's certainly positive. Now, if you look at those similar financial ratios, when you add the solar in, they go up a bit because the biomass is subsidizing the solar to a certain degree. You have 8.7 year. Let me make sure I get the site 2. It's 7.5 years. Excuse me. Actually, oh no. I'm sorry. It's 8.7 years. 2.5 for the net present value, and an annual life cycle cost savings of $201,000. Now, those last three columns, if you just want to look at today's scenario, if you did solar and biomass, look at this column that says biomass solar, zero carbon credit. The other two are in here just for a sensitivity. It's not enforced today. Rob might have better insight than I do. If they ever go to a cap and trade system sometime in the future, then you'd get some monies for your reduction in carbon. So then that comes in as a revenue stream, and that makes your financial ratios look even better. But if you're making a decision today, I would definitely look at the one obviously with no carbon credit. That's pretty much it in terms of what the financials are and what the